Hey coach, I got a favor. I need you to check out my brother, and he's been through it all. He had a rough high school, kind of got kicked out of the school due to academics, and our parents sent him away to boarding school, but he's finally turning his life around, and I think I could help you out with this one. And also, you could help me out a little bit. He's back. I think he's back to being himself. You won't be disappointed.
Yo, what's good, YouTube? This is Jay from TNJ, and welcome to the recruiting episode here in Season 6 in the Whitetails Dynasty. And the last 5 years have been pretty good, but this one might be our best recruiting class. Now, we did have a goal of acquiring all the pipelines, and I'm not really sure if that's going to be possible. We're going to keep trying to do it, but it's so hard to keep up with each state. I think what we need to do is just go state by state each year and kind of go heavy in each state. And you can see here we have 4 pipelines, but we keep losing a couple of pipelines as well, like Indiana, we're trying to acquire them. Michigan, we could be losing. Minnesota, we could be losing. We had a big year in Minnesota 3 seasons ago, and it kind of makes sense why we're on the verge of losing them. But just looking at our class overall and all of our classes, on offense, we have 7 seniors, but a lot of freshmen. It seems like we're not going to have to recruit offense within the next year or two, maybe 2-3 years down the road. We might start once again. Our offensive line, though, is definitely a recruiting need this year. But on defense, we have pretty much an even split across each class. 10 freshmen, 9 sophomores, 8 juniors, 7 seniors. So we will need to recruit on defense continuously. So let's hop into this year's recruiting class, and we're going to start with another quarterback in Marcus Smith. After we just got done looking at Maverick Yarbrough, a dual threat quarterback, but a lefty, I'm looking at a true dual threat in Marcus Smith. Now, his height is his knock. He's only 5'10". He might get a lot of passes not down at the line of scrimmage, but he can run. Don't get anything twisted about that. I mean, just look at him. He breaks tackles. Look at this. I mean, breaking another one, getting tackled, breaking another one. I mean, this guy is special. Now, he does have great throw power, but he does take way too many chances, and he'll have a chance to clean that up at the collegiate level. I think he's going to redshirt. It definitely depends on what Maverick Yarbrough and the other quarterbacks we have on the board do. Because if you think about it, a lot of these guys are coming from systems where it's not really tailor-made for college football. A lot of triple option offenses, just a lot of that, high school type of offense that it's kind of easy to pick up and it doesn't really translate too well to college. So that redshirt year really does make a difference. But Marcus Smith is a good prospect. I really like him. He's a good quarterback. So if you guys follow Uncle Sam's Rejects channel, you guys know this next guy, Tyler Hawkins. Now, in college, he had a son, and that son is now a recruit and eligible to go to the NCAA. That is Tyler Hawkins Jr. He did kind of follow the path of his father going into JUCO, so he went to Independence College, and I think he's amazing. I mean, this guy is polished. I think a lot of guys stayed away from him in college recruiting when he was a high school senior because of his dad and kind of the history that his father left behind as being kind of a, I don't know, kind of maybe not a head case, but a tougher personality to handle, and I think that's what deterred teams away, but he's now ready for NCAA. So, we do have some bad news, though. Sticking on the defensive side of the ball, we had a 4-star, really good defensive tackle, but it seems like he is committed to Ohio State. He was a power type of defensive tackle. I mean, pretty much overpowered everybody lined up against him, and it looks like we're going to miss out on him. But there is some good news at defensive tackle. We have been lacking stopping the run, and that has been really, really a problem this year. And Frankie Kai, the number 12 defensive tackle, he is amazing. I want to take a look at this play in particular. Look how he just pushes his man into the quarterback and forces the quarterback to move out of the pocket and make a bad throw. Now, that's kind of what we want out of our defensive tackle. Just clog up the middle of the field. And if he can do that in the passing game, I think he can just stuff the run. Look at him on each play, just pushing his guys back into the quarterback. And it's going to make it tougher on quarterbacks, making their throwing lanes a lot smaller. But he definitely needs to work on his finesse moves. I think his technique is a little bit raw, but I think he is going to be an amazing talent. Now, let's look at safety Ryan Moon. He is an All-American, number 6 overall strong safety in the nation. Now, he's got it all. He's polished. He can rush the passer. He has good tackling. He has good zone coverage, good man. I mean, this guy does it all. And here's the thing. I think he could be a day one starter. He is an All-American, 2-time first-team All-State. He's just an all-around guy. Now, he could be a bit too aggressive at times because he does draw a lot of late hits, a lot of face mask penalties, and I think that he can maybe tone that down just a little bit. But I mean, he just hits guys and he makes them feel him. His top schools are Rutgers, Adam Miller coach Rutgers, and the Whitetails. So it's going to be a 2-man race here towards the end of the season, but this guy can play. And let me tell you, our strong safety position, we've struggled this year, so we might need him next year. So offensive line has been a big recruiting need this season, and it's definitely showed up because, you know, our run offense is really good, but our pass offense isn't as good as what I expected because, you know, when we played a couple of teams, pass rush was in there right away. So I'm looking at a guy that's more of a project guy, but he is an offensive lineman, Rudolph Guzman. He played tackle in high school, but he is a terrific run blocker, so I can probably move him around when he gets to the college level. Now, let's move to the offensive side of the ball. Let's check out Ramel Williams. Now, we do have a really good tight end right now in Price Greer, but Price Greer is kind of a wide receiver playing tight end, but Ramel Williams is a tight end that can play receiver. He can block. Don't get any secrets about it. He's strong. He can do everything you want for a tight end. And most importantly, he's athletic. And man, this guy can play. He was the Indiana Gatorade Player of the Year runner-up just at tight end. That's how good he is. How could a tight end win Gatorade Player of the Year? But that's how special he is. I'm looking forward to his future. So we're sticking on the offensive side of the ball when moving to Kenosha, Wisconsin, as we take a look at Rinoa Lakalaka and Cole Lakalaka, 2 twins. And I got to admit, Rinoa isn't really considering Wisconsin State at this moment. So we're going to take a look at Cole. And I think he is one of the most underrated running backs in the nation. And let me just say, this guy is an underrated runner. He has been labeled as more of a third down back, but I think this guy can be an every down back. Now, I am going to kind of use him as kind of a pass catcher out of the backfield, kind of like we used Bam Cameron earlier in his career, but come junior, senior year, this guy could be a 3-down back. I'm pretty sure he will be. He's smaller, but he can break tackles with the best of them. He's hard to take down, and he's dynamic. He's very, very dynamic. I kind of compare him right now to Austin Eckler because of how small he is, and Austin Eckler is a underrated runner between the tackles, but I think that this guy has the opportunity to be a home run hitter. He doesn't have the top end speed right now, but he is quick. Look at these cuts. He's cutting in and out, and I think that this guy is going to be a pretty good player for this offense. We're already pretty good on offense right now, but adding some more talent will never hurt. And this guy from Kenosha, Wisconsin, he's definitely set up some roots in Wisconsin, and going to Green Bay with the Whitetails, I think is going to be his best move. Now, let's look at our ratings here for our school. So our coaching ratings are kind of at A right now, and that's kind of what's driving us in recruiting. Recruits want to go to a team that has the best coaching staff, and it's kind of what we've established here. Now, next is kind of establishing us as championship contenders. We need to win some championships, maybe go to some bowl games and win them this time. We're 0-3 in bowl games. It's definitely hung over us. But the next guy on this list could put us over the top, and he is another offensive weapon. Let's check out Jasper Sweet. All right, so let's take a look at our full board here. And I highlighted last episode, A.J. Howery is the #1 player in the nation. He's from Des Moines, Iowa, and we're in 3rd place. Looks like we are just out of the projected cutoff, and it looks like he wants to play with Lincoln Riley. I swear, anybody that plays for that offense pretty much turns into gold, and he is an amazing tackle. I'm looking forward to maybe having him, but more importantly, Eric Shedd is a top prospect of ours, and he is looking to come to the Whitetails. I won't be surprised if he commits in the next couple of weeks. He is a great run blocker. He could start instantly day one at right tackle for us because of we like to run to the right side. I'm really looking forward to our top guys on the board. They are very, very talented. Tyler Hawkins Jr. looks like he is trying to go to the school that originally his father wanted to go to, which was Iowa. Now, he is a day one starter. He has the skills right now. You can see he's got speed. He can definitely cover, and that he learns that from his dad. But we have to kind of ramp it up in recruiting with him because we might be losing him pretty quickly. Now, safety Ryan Moon, we are closer in recruiting for him. He is a #6 strong safety in the nation from Akron, Ohio, but Rutgers has been going at him pretty hard. Another 4-star prospect, 6 foot 180, and we definitely are losing some points because we do not have Ohio as a pipeline state. Now, he's an all-around guy. He can cover, he can tackle, he's got decent speed. I hope I can get him because he would be a pretty good addition to our defense. Now, one guy I did not go over, but is the top talent on our board, Adam Williams. Now, he's one of the two guys I think could be a definite day one starter as a freshman. He is amazing. And I mean, even this, looking at his ratings here, 81 block shedding, 80 zone. He can cover. He can rush the passer. He can do it all. And he might even be higher than 78 overall. He could be in the 80s as a freshman. That's how special this kid is. If we get him, and we are in first right now, but Navy is on our heels, and Marshall surprisingly is in the race. Now, the other true freshman I think will start day one, Frankie Kai. Now, the reason why I think he's going to start day one is because he's got the strength inside. But I do want to move Jonathan Simmons back to defensive end. I don't think defensive tackle or nose tackle is his natural position, but Frankie Kai can definitely play there and kind of open up kind of the pass rushing lanes for Jonathan Simmons, kind of take that double team away from him, because Frankie Kai, he's so big, you got to double team him. Now, let's go to some high potential guys. And I highlighted Rudolph Guzman, but I did not talk about Bobo Smith II. He's from Chicago, Illinois, 6'2", 230. He reminds me a lot of Victor Dimitrankos. I swear. I mean, just look at him. He's the mold of him. He's got great pursuit, good tackling, good speed. I think he can use a year of redshirting, but I definitely think that down the road, maybe even 2 years from now, he could be a kind of rotational piece and possibly a starter. So I highlighted Rudolph Guzman, a really good tackle. We're in first place. Jasper Sweet. He is dynamic. He's only 5'8", 170 from Oshkosh, Wisconsin, but he is 94 speed as a freshman. He is going to be a burner. And Xavier Storm right now has a lot of acceleration, and that's what kind of separates him. He has a high acceleration, but Jasper Sweet just has the speed. He's going to burn guys in one-on-one coverage, and it's going to be fun having him in the rotation of receivers, because remember, Francis Smith is going to be graduating in a couple years. We're going to definitely need some more dynamic receivers. Now, Ramel Williams is definitely going to play quite a bit, and maybe even his first year, because right now our run offense is definitely lacking because of our blocking at tight end. Now, Price Greer is more of a receiver. He lines up at tight end, but he can't block. That's a problem. And getting Ramel Williams in there, he's really, really good right now. That will definitely help right away. Now, Tanner Reed is another outside linebacker. He is really good. He's a good tackler, but we are just too far behind, and it looks like Washington is going to be his destination. Ohio State in a close second, but it seems like he's just out of our league. Now, Renoa Lakalaka is not interested in Wisconsin State, but his little brother is, and he is really good. I told you he is very elusive. He's got the moves. He's got a good juke move. He can't really block, but his receiving skills are what set him apart. He is a pretty good plus receiver, and he's really, really quick on his feet. And I'm excited for the future that he has with the program. Even redshirting a year will probably definitely benefit him and getting him 4 years of eligibility. So Thomas Caesar is a quarterback I did not highlight, but we are way too far behind with him. He is only 5'10". He is from Ohio, and he looks like he is going to Ohio, as the Central Michigan Chippewas are actually in the race as well. Well, good news about another dual threat quarterback in Marcus Smith, though, as he is interested, and he looks like he could be heading our way pretty soon. We have a pretty sizable lead, not too big, but it looks like the projected cutoff will cut off the second place team. Now, as we look towards the bottom of our board, we have a pretty good outside linebacker as well, who I think could translate pretty well to defensive end, and that is Bryce Jones. But the reason why I do want to kind of convert one of these guys to defensive end, especially Bryce Jones here, he's got decent size, 6', 212. He can definitely add some weight, but he can cover. So when I want to send blitzes, I can drop him back into coverage from the defensive end position, and he can hold his own. I'm really, really excited for him. So Roderick Finley is a good guard. Remember, we want to kind of recruit at offensive line pretty heavily this year because we are losing 3 seniors, and he is going to be probably a redshirt candidate, but he is pretty good. He's not really great, but definitely a guy that has a lot of potential. Jonathan Hall, another defensive end that we can add to this mix and get deeper on the defensive line. We kind of need to shuffle some guys around because stopping the run has been tough this year. Isaiah Roberson, we kind of had our eyes on him. He is from Green Bay, but we didn't show any interest early, and it definitely tailed off from there because he's not interested. Warren Brooks is kind of the same story, the number 5 outside linebacker. He's really good, but we did not show any interest early, and it kind of hurt us in recruiting. And then Kevin McTaggart is kind of a guy that we're kind of keeping on the radar, but not really going too hard for. And then Ben Benjamin, the defensive tackle out of Ohio, is committing to Ohio State. You see how good he is. He is beat power moves, 78 finesse moves. He was an all-around defensive tackle. So that is going to do it here in Season 6 recruiting, and we will keep you up to date as the season goes on. In next episode, we go up against Adam Miller and the Rutgers Scarlet Knights, as they started out 1-2, but they have had a tough schedule to start it out, so I am not really faulting them at all. And this one is a home game for them, and Kirk Herbstreit is going with them. So that is surprising, and just looking at how they have done so far, they beat Mississippi State, or they beat Miami to open it up, and then they beat they actually lost to Miami, 38-42. They got blown out by Wisconsin. So they played 2 ranked opponents who they have their 2 losses against, but it doesn't get easier. I mean, they play us, Navy, Michigan, Penn State, Ohio State, Marquette, who has started off 3-0, all in a row. This is a very tough first season for Coach Adam Miller, and I kind of feel bad for him, to be honest, because he doesn't have any slouches of any games on this schedule at all. It's going to be tough. Maybe Cincinnati and Michigan State, they're both 1-3 at the end of their schedule. Those will be easier games. So that's going to do it here. Let me know what you guys think about this recruiting class as we head into the meat of Season 6. So hit subscribe, hit that like button, stay tuned. Let's get it. Let's go.
Yeah, they filling out these job applications. Life got hard after high school graduation. I went to college and your boy got financial aid. They gave me money, then I went and bought a pair of J's. And I bought a pair of shades. And I bought a new computer. Had $400 left, spent the rest on...